Okay, this is my history summative with the 4 artifacts. So, um, so we got artifact 1 from World War I. It's the HMS Canada. Then we have the World War II, World War II tank called the Grizzly that Canada made as well. And then Cold War Avro that is now sinking. And the present submarine HMS Victoria. So my topic question was, how was Canadian technology used in war/conflicts? This relates to all 4 of my artifacts since they were all used or created in some sort of way to benefit Canada, either by helping us win a conflict or battle, or even just resolving it. Doesn't matter which one. They all have unique features that would benefit Canada, which is why they were made. Yeah. So the first one is HMS Canada. So it was a super dreadnought that was constructed during World War I. It was faster than the other ships in the Royal Canadian Navy, but also had less armor. The ship joined the 4th Battle Squadron Grand Fleet in 1915, and it was present at the Battle of Jutland 1916 and fired 42 rounds, but wasn't damaged. It was later sold for scrap in 1959. So yeah, I created this through, say, 4 to 5 hours, since it's a lot bigger than it looks, especially on the inside. Has 2 steam-powered engines, 5 turrets with 2 barrels each. Next is the Grizzly tank. So it was made by Canada, and it was an addition to Canada's already lacking armored unit to provide infantry support and to duel with other powers such as Russia and Germany's armored vehicles. The Grizzlies were created to keep up with the USA's M4A1 tanks. And because Canada wanted their own twist, like their own ingenuity in creating their own tanks instead of just buying all of them from the US. This artifact relates to my topic question because the tank can be used as a way of pushing through enemy defensive encampments. So my artifact 3, the Avro Arrow, was one of the most famous aircraft in Canadian history. It had 2 J-57 engines and flight test systems. 5 of them were made, and 32 were going to be completed, but weren't able to be completed since the government shut down the project. This artifact is related to my topic question because the Avro Arrow could be used to outmaneuver and destroy enemy aircraft without notice, and this could benefit Canada from preventing air raids and bombing. This was very historic because it had an airspeed of 1,297 kilometers, and it had weaponry of double Sparrow missiles. The fourth artifact in the present is the HMS Victoria. This was an Upholder class submarine, and they were diesel boats that were cheaper than nuclear counterparts and could be built quicker. They used them to monitor the Greenland to Iceland to UK ocean gaps to prevent Russian submarines from getting into the Atlantic. This artifact relates to my question because it was used for war as a quick, cheap scout to make sure others weren't planning something. Planning to move their forces or raiding someplace. So now I'll just talk about the actual video game part, since I've talked about the history part. So, yeah, I created this. I've originally meant for these to be ballasts, but were never used. Unfortunately, I had to make this one manual because I couldn't get the AI to work. Yeah. Okay. So that's the submarine. Then there's also a tank. It's very compact. With a very small, pretty crappy gun. The Avro Arrow, this thing goes super fast. These engines are actually insanely strong. So, for example, to show, this is in 10% speed. This right here. So if I change that, that's the normal speed. So as you can see, it's going 128 meters a second, which is it's the fastest thing I've ever built. So it does live up to its name as the Avro Arrow. Yeah, that's that. And now it's going crazy. And apparently it blew up. Okay. Yeah. And then, as I said before, this was probably the longest one, since it took me... I have to do each one of these pieces one by one. So, yeah. It doesn't look that big, maybe, to people who hadn't played the game. But yeah, each one of those is a piece. So this is like... it's actually to scale, actually. It's at a scale of 1 to 4. So this is only a quarter of what the real thing was. Which is pretty insane as well. And, yeah. That's the end.